everyone. Welcome to Drive-thru Therapy. Come on in, pull up a chair, have a seat, because tonight is going to be a conversation about the theme that I've been going with this week. It's about doing the right thing. And I was watching Spider-Man with my son, and he likes to watch that movie every night. Don't get me wrong, I'm falling in love with it a little bit at a time. And it's the verse one. It's the universe, where different Spider-Mans come together from all other parallel universes, and they get together and they team up to save this one universe. Anyways, great movie. Great music and great plot, really. But what I really got to thinking about was doing the right thing and what it looks like for each person that I encounter. Hell, I can only know what doing the right thing is for me, because I'm only perceiving the world and what is in front of me. That's it. I don't know beyond really what is in front of me, what is at this moment right now. So when I'm asked to do the right thing, it's pretty easy because it's right in front of me. Most of the time it is. It's being asked right there. And it may look obvious, like giving someone $1 that's in need, or donating when I'm standing at Albertsons and paying out, and I'll just press money to donate on that little card screen thing. All those are variations of the doing the right thing at that moment. But there are other things that are not so obvious that we're being asked to do every day, doing the right thing. And it's kind of important. And the reason why I say that is because it helps with building the relationship that you have with yourself. We spend so much time contemplating all the stuff that we're doing wrong. We sit and we hammer ourselves down. While we get stuck in this self-hammering, self-bludgeoning, we become stagnant. We don't see what we have to do in front of us. Because what's happening is we're too busy on the inside, engaging basically in self-pity, self-hate. So when I'm doing all that, it takes over my own internal world, and I can't see what's needed in front of me. Whether it's a decision, an action, a thought, I can't see it. It's right in front of me, and I know what the right thing to do is, but I just can't see it because I'm too self-involved with punishing myself or guilting myself or shaming myself or worrying and thinking about the past and what I did wrong, or thinking about the future and fearing it, that I can't see the present moment and when I'm needed. One can say superheroes are superheroes because when they are presented with the right thing to do in front of them, they do it. It's not that we do not know what the right thing to do is. We do. But the difference between us and perhaps superheroes, or that concept, is that they do it, even if it's inconvenient. They know what the right thing to do is and they follow through with it. Us, as humans, we know what the right thing to do is, except sometimes we practice self-dishonesty, or we get ourselves confused about things, or over-analytical. But whatever we do, we maintain a state of confusion when we know what the right thing to do is, and we just will not act on it. We may be afraid, insecure. We may not know what the outcome is going to be, and so we just don't take that leap of faith. And that's what's beautiful about Superman. He takes the leap of faith. Finally, in the movie, he does, and he learns that it works out good for him. When it comes to doing the right thing, we just got to take the leap of faith. We know what the right thing to do is. And when we do the right thing, that road is blessed. And we have to trust that. In session, all day long, I practice being present with the client. And that's pretty important for me, because when I'm being present, when my mind is not in the past, and what I'm going to do after work, and how many people showed up today, how many people didn't show up today, when it's not worried, when it's at peace, when it's right there and present, I can help whoever's in front of me. And it's not helped by giving advice despite what people think. Sometimes I'm just there with them on their journey, and all my job is to do is to remind them that they're not alone and that this too shall pass. When we are involved in our own world, internal world that is, which of course is going to burst out into the external, we forget that this will pass. We start reacting like everything around us is going to be permanent. Like emotions are permanent, and they are in fact not. They're fleeting, they're impermanent. Our emotions, our thoughts are all impermanent, and that's a good thing, that's a great thing. It humbles me to know that. That means, hey, I don't have to sit in sadness. I don't have to sit in anxiousness. I don't have to sit in worry. I can get out. That's a great thing. So doing the right thing, as I was watching Spider-Man, is really about courage. I confront so many people throughout my day. And confront, I mean by I'm with them. I get dirty with them, thinking about what our past is, sifting through dirty laundry, whatever they're presenting, I'm confronting in session with them, of course. And I have people that just surprise the hell out of me. I mean, they'll forgive their mother who has abused them continuously so they can relieve them of the guilt. They are going to let someone go before they ruin a relationship and self-destruct. And it's all an act of mercy. It's great. It's our everyday heroism, and we sometimes dismiss it. We don't give it credit or place in our world. Doing the right thing requires us being present. And when we are of service to others, when we are courteous, merciful, kind, compassionate, we are closer to whatever that is in us that is divine or that is powerful, because we are the image of that kindness, that divine love, that divine compassion. It's not just human compassion. It seems like it is beyond, and how it's received is beyond. You know, when I'm holding my son and he's laying down and we're watching the movie and he's crying because Spider-Man is about to get hurt or he thinks he's dead after the Kingpin slams his head on the ground, or at least that's what we think is happening. My son cries. I'm grateful I get to hold him. I'm grateful that I get to see him find comfort in my arms. And it is divine that moment I don't have to miss, and no one has to miss. If it's with a quiet and peaceful mind, I don't gotta miss a thing. I'm right there to see it, to see where I am of service. There are days where my arms will not find a motherless child. Unfortunately, I can't reach all of them, right? But especially many that I have met working with children and working with trauma. And I get to be of service every time I hold my son and he leans on me. I get to feel that. I get to feel that and give that to him for all the children that do not have mothers or fathers. And that's how I'm of service. But being in a moment is when I recognize that. But I won't be able to recognize it when my mind is worried about the future or hung up on the past. I gotta be right here. I gotta be right now. I gotta be here, present. So I ask you all to consider being present, to consider being of service at that moment, whether it's to hold your child, for all the motherless children that never get to feel that touch and that safety and security, or whether it is to let someone cut you off without screaming and yelling, or when you give $1 without judgment, without saying what this person should be doing with that dollar or any other nonsense. Let's all be Spider-Man or whatever hero you want to be. Let's all be the everyday little heroes, or even better, be of service. Be the image of whatever that is divine within us that we can show to people that need it. And the funny thing is, I never know when I'm needed. It's not when I think I am needed, because that's my ego talking most of the time. You know, sometimes if somebody starts talking about whether they need money or not, and me going ahead and being their savior and offering it, that's not when I'm needed. When I'm needed is a lot of the times just for me to be there, to be available emotionally for another person, Meaning that if they're telling their story, I'm just listening. Or if they are experiencing loss and I have nothing to say that would be useful, I would just shut up. When somebody is cruel and unkind, I show them mercy when they don't deserve it, like I've been shown, like I am sure, darn sure that you've been shown too. There's no way we've lived this far and not seen kindness, not seen a snippet of compassion, mercy, the selfless kind of love. We've seen it. And when we remember it, when we are on our worst day, but we remember that somebody did help us at one point, unconditionally, no conditions, they didn't want anything back. They just showed us mercy. They forgave us for something. They helped us when it was really needed. We are helping one another, getting closer to the divine, which I think is what maybe we're here to all do. So I don't know if that makes sense to anyone, but I thought this would be a good shout out for my son, because it reminds me what kind of human I want to be and what kind of human I want my son to see. That even if he does not turn out what I expect or whatever nonsense I think I can predict about my son, which I limit to nothing basically, I want him to recall that he felt the closest thing to perfection when he was held by someone that loved him unconditionally. It's those moments that we feel, or those moments that we remember that we're unconditionally loved, not judged, just loved, is when we remember the divine, when we uplift the human spirit and take it to another level. So yeah, that's all I got. You're out there with me on that journey, and be of help and be of service to people around you by being available when you are needed, which is all day long. Spend time with them where you are actually spending time with them. Hold them and acknowledge the moment and only think about that moment. Not the past, not the future, just this moment. Enjoy the people that you love. Actually enjoy them in the moment. Not wish that things could be better. Not wish that this person needs to change or that you wish that situation was a little more different, or I had more money, or I had more whatever. I need to enjoy this moment and be emotionally available for the people around me that need my emotional availability. A lot of the times, that's exactly what we're needed for. Not to do all the other stuff that we do. Unfortunately, because we're not available, we don't recognize and see that all we have to do is be available. But for many people, if they are not quiet on the inside, availability becomes hard. I would rather do everything else than actually be available. It gets hard. So take advantage of that time that you have with the people that you love. You are needed and you are of help all day long when you are available. When your mind is not worrying, when your mind is not engaging in patterns that cause you not to see what is in front of you. Because all that does not give you a sense of gratitude. You just hang out in the lack. You never see what you already have plenty of, which is right in front of you, which is what you're sitting in right now. That's good to know. My name is Tala, and this has been an episode of Drive-thru.